What was the most horrific game of truth or dare you've ever played? There was this farm party when I was around 15 years old. Everyone was told to bring different types of alcohol or they'd regret it. Guess who forgot to bring alcohol? So the person who didn't bring any alcohol had to be subject to one dare: no pussing out, no limits. Basically I had no choice or say in the dare, I could only agree and do it. So, in the middle of the party, the host, girl who was same age as me, shouts that it's time for Brocataco to do the dare. She gets all her girlfriends together, and they plan the most embarrassing, exposing, devious dare ever. You have to let us blindfold you, tie you up, and do whatever we want for 15 minutes. Edit. Here's what happened. It felt like they were putting cold water on me. They told me it was ketchup, mustard, and other shit like peanut butter. Eventually they started to get pervy ideas, and soon enough my pants are being pulled off. I feel the cold water again, but on my schlong. I freaked out, mainly because they whispered to take pictures. I'll never know if they did, but it was embarrassing as hell, and I was really nervous of nudes circulating or something. Someone said, "We still have like 10 minutes left, what else can we do?" And I hear my friend's voice say, "Lick it off." I literally thanked God for his existence right then and there, because without him I wouldn't have gotten a BJ that night. Playing in a group of girls, all around 13 to 14 years old. The most kind-hearted girl there with the sweetest face, cute little curls and freckles, is dared to take a dump on a plate in front of the rest of us. No hesitation. Just giggles. "Okay, where's the plate?" The girl whose house it was then proceeds to keep said plate in the basement freezer for a couple weeks, for science, until her mom found it. I don't know if they kept the plate. I was right at the beginning of middle school. We were starting to play truth or dare at birthday parties. We were playing a variation that I think in the US is called X Minutes in Heaven. Anyways, I think it was my turn for the heaven thing. I was so rooting for the beautiful girl I had a crush with. Instead it gets to a really weird looking girl I wasn't attracted to at all. In my head I'm really let down. This girl wasn't attractive at all. Suddenly the girl starts bawling and runs out screaming something along the lines of, "Not with him." Yeah. When I was in 6th grade, I was dared to let these 3 girls tie me, spread eagle to the bed, clothed, and do anything they wanted for 10 minutes. I thought they would do something exy. Instead they spent 10 minutes dropping different objects onto my nuts, from varying heights. One girl dropped a heavy tape dispenser on me, which made me cry. I was dared to climb a friend's apartment balcony in nothing but boxers and sneakers. I executed this task with top Spider-Man-like efficiency, until another inebriated friend stepped out and began to piss off of the balcony not knowing I was just below. Needless to say, anti-piss instincts kicked in and I dropped 2 stories down into the parking lot. My profanities were heard echoing for miles around that night. Not knowing. You know, thinking back to it, I'm willing to bet that while I was outside stripping down and getting ready to climb, that ducker was inside daring the other ducker to go piss off the balcony. I've got such great friends. For the record, I got them back one day. I walked into a bar restroom and found both of them side by side at urinals. They were the only 2 urinals in the restroom. So I roared, "I told you not to use my urinal." Grabbed my friend on the left by his shoulders and swung him to the right, causing my other friend to get drenched in his piss. It was glorious, golden vengeance. I never really had a horrible game of truth or dare, but one time in the 8th grade my friend dared a friend of mine to give me a lap dance, and as it was happening I quietly whispered in her ear, "That's what daddy likes," and she got off and ran. Pick dare. They dared me to hold my finger in a car door while they slammed it shut. Broke my finger. Edit. I get it everyone. I'm a dumbass. In my defense, I did it in the name of 6th grade love. This just sucks. Your friends don't know how to play the damned game. We were in like 6th grade, and I was trying to impress the girls we were playing with. It was my own fault for agreeing. It got me a girlfriend for about 3 days though, until she decided she didn't like me anymore. I was 12 or 13. I was at my step-aunt's house. There were a lot of young adults around, and then my aunt. She asked truth or dare. I said, truth. She asked me if I wanted to sleep with her. Edit 0. I actually said, you, no, or something like that. I was blunt and immediate with my response. Edit. She was in her 30s or 40s, I'm guessing. Edit 2. I seriously didn't expect this much attention, and I never really told anyone that story before. Nothing happened. She was kinda gross. She was the only adult in the circle, and I was the oldest person in the circle. She was kind of entertaining the kids, and teaching them how to play. Nobody in the game really understood what she was asking me. Edit 3. I also had a step-aunt on the other side that asked me, at about the same age, how's your dog coming in? Do you want to put it to use? And that time I actually told my stepmom about it, and she explained it away, something about her having a miscarriage and not being. We, 3 guys and 3 girls, were all in the hot tub at this chick's house, and I get dared to go mash my dog/balls up against her parents' bedroom window. Granted, it's like 1 AM, and the whole house is completely dark, so I thought it would be no big deal. Get out of the hot tub, run over to the window, drop my suit, and smash my junk up against the window for a few moments. Then, in the reflective light of the pool, I catch a glimpse of her parents sitting right inside the window, watching us from inside. They didn't even blink, just watched me. It was ducking terrifying. Terrifying. Like, I saw them for a split ducking second as the light passed over the glass, just inches away from my mashed up donk on the other side of the window. Something from a horror movie. I gasped and ran back to the hot tub, got back in, and just sat there in complete silence. A couple minutes later, her dad comes outside laughing, hands me a beer, and then reminisces with all of us for a minute about the crazy shit he did when he was a kid. I've never felt a shock like I did when I saw their faces. It still haunts me sometimes, but it all turned out better than expected. I was 25. Duck all these dare stories. Truth is the ducking worst. You have just a couple of drinks, think you're with your best friends, and then the next thing you know, everybody at school knows you think Victoria's feet are cute. Duck this game. 2 friends who had dated in a group of 8 or so. The guy was trying to badger his ex with increasingly uncomfortable questions. What do you see in him? Why do you like me? Why don't you love me anymore? That ducking sucked. Betty's a blast at parties. I was tied to a chair in only my underwear covered in peanut butter, and they put me about 6 feet from the door and ordered a pizza. He wouldn't open the door when I was yelling at him that it was open. After about 3 minutes he finally did, and he was pretty terrified. I told him the money was in the pocket of the jacket hanging up, and that he could keep the change. He asked if I needed help, and I said, nah, my friends will come back eventually, I am just really hungry. The dude set the pizza in my lap, which I thought was okay, until he left and it started to burn really bad. I was okay. My friends all came out of hiding after he left, and just busted up laughing. There is a video of it somewhere. As it turns out, I would work at that same pizza place for about 2 years. The guy who delivered it worked there and didn't recognize me, until I asked him about his weirdest delivery story. I laughed for a while and told him it was me, and I did it because of a dare. He didn't really look at me the same ever again. TLDR, mostly naked, tied to chair, covered in peanut butter, ordered pizza. I got dared to answer the door and pay for the pizza we ordered completely naked. Whatever. Easy, right? The doorbell rings. I strip down quickly, and I grab the cash to pay for the pizza, but the pizza guy was not waiting at the door. It was the mom of one of the girls at the party. She had come to pick her up early, only to find me at the door naked. Her husband was a church minister. The party ended pretty quickly when she called all the other parents to pick up their kids. Good times. Throughout my life I haven't played much truth or dare, but I've had a pretty decent experience. It was my first kiss. Back when I was like 5 or 6, my parents would go hang out with the neighbors and I would go to see their daughter. Sometimes she invited friends over and we would play hide and seek, tag and all the kid games, you know. Well, one time we played truth or dare and she got dared to kiss me. I didn't hesitate and just went for it. I moved about a month later and haven't seen her since, but hey, not the best story, but someone might enjoy it.